So in today's video, I'm sharing 5 healthy habits for building self-esteem and self-worth. But if you're new, my name's Michelle Ferris. I'm a psychotherapist, and I love helping people create relationships that work. So the first healthy habit you need to develop for self-esteem is to learn how to acknowledge your gifts. This is super important. This is not arrogant or self-centered. Part of healthy self-esteem is to give yourself credit for the things you've done well. Certain special traits you have. Maybe you're kind or generous or you're easygoing. Everybody has traits that are unique to them. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to write down what are your gifts. And I want you to at least push to get 10. These gifts can be things you've done, qualities you have, compliments you've received from other people. These are all healthy ways to build self-esteem. If you've ever been able to acknowledge your gifts, say me too in the comments. That's a great step. So the next healthy habit for building self-esteem is to build self-trust. This means that you not only keep your word to other people, but you keep your word to yourself. So if you make yourself a promise, if you make a commitment to yourself, you keep it. Now, what I like to do is do baby steps, because baby steps are a lot more manageable than trying to take on a whole new habit at once. So one of the things you can do is to start creating a morning routine, even for 5 minutes, or showing up for a commitment. Trust grows when you keep your word. That's really important. That's how we start to rely on ourselves. Another aspect of self-trust is to start paying attention to those little gut reactions you're having throughout the day, where maybe something doesn't feel right to you, or somebody said something and you're tempted to just say, yes, everything's fine, when really it isn't. Self-trust starts with you, and it starts by you being able to trust your own perceptions. This is what I talk a lot about in my self-trust journal that I'm gonna link in the comments. Because part of self-esteem is being able to trust your own perceptions and rely on them without fail. And that's part of what you need to learn. The next healthy habit for improving self-esteem is to hang out with people who boost your self-worth. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about who are those people that really make you feel good about yourself when you spend time with them. Maybe they're friends or family or people that maybe you don't spend that much time with, but every time you leave, you feel really good. Those are the people I want you to start really considering spending more time with. Because when we spend time with people who are kind of down or negative or have a lot of negative stuff going on and they're not into the solution, it can weigh us down, and I don't want that for you. Plus, you'll notice a huge difference in your mood as you start to build and cultivate relationships with people who are more positive and make you feel good about yourself. So the next healthy habit for building self-esteem is to learn how to forgive yourself for making mistakes. Because let's face it, we all make mistakes. Nobody's immune to this. Nobody's perfect. But those people with healthy self-esteem and self-worth are able to do that because they realize that mistakes are part of learning. And honestly, the biggest lessons and the biggest gifts I've ever had have come from my biggest mistakes, because that's how we learn. That's how we improve. But we can't expect ourselves to never make a mistake, because that's not fair and it's not realistic. So part of healthy self-esteem is to learn how to forgive yourself. One way to do this is to write yourself a letter of forgiveness. And if you're having trouble, what I want you to do is think about your best friend. If they made the same mistake, what would you tell them? Because I'm guessing you wouldn't judge them. You would actually be supportive and understand why they made that mistake. And I want you to show the same compassion to yourself, because that is how you develop self-esteem. Now, the next habit for building self-esteem is to challenge and identify any negative self-talk. Messages like, I'm not enough, I'm stupid, things never work out for me, I can never get the kind of relationship I want, all my relationships are toxic. Whatever you're telling yourself, negative self-talk can basically be negative messages about yourself or about life in general or about certain people in your life. But most negative self-talk about ourselves is what impacts our self-esteem the most. What I want you to realize about this is that most of our negative self-talk is inherited through our caregivers and our childhood experiences. So when you look back on things that you've been told, It's most likely more about them and their own struggles at the time than who you were as a child. Because I know for me, in my childhood, I was told messages that were clearly not true about me. But I didn't know that as a kid, because as a kid, we're sponges and we tend to take every word as truth, even when it isn't. So now in adulthood, we have to sort of unpackage those messages and realize that they don't belong to us. And that is how you're gonna develop healthy self-esteem, by starting to change those messages to things like, I am capable, I am enough, I am a good person, people do love me, or everything is gonna work out okay. Those kind of messages can serve as really important affirmations in this process of building self-esteem. So the next step I want you to do is I want you to go watch my video on how to challenge negative self-talk, because that is an important key in this work. Thanks so much.